Good morning and welcome to another edition of Just Events Online Newspaper Review. I am Hanifat Ismail. This morning I have the Punch newspaper, The Nation, The Guardian, as well as the Herald newspaper. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, food shortage, Tinubu declares state of emergency, plants 500,000 hectares farmland. President orders year-round farming, releases fertilizers, grains to farmers' households. Security agents deployed to farms as federal government plans transport, concessionary loans for farmers. The story is on page 2 of the paper. National Assembly approves 890 billion naira for subsidy palliative and projects. Dangote Cement plants new plants in Nigeria, Ghana, others. Dangote Cement plants new plants in Nigeria, Ghana, others. Turn to page 25 of the Punch newspaper for the details. Service chiefs get Senate nod, vow to tackle insecurity. Opposition demands Alex Chairman's prosecution. APC fumes. Opposition demands INEC Chairman's prosecution as APC fumes. Apostle Suleiman meant to be killed during attack. Suspect reviews. 13 Chinese nabbed for illegal mining in Kwara. 13 Chinese nabbed for illegal mining in Kwara State. Turn to page 15 uh, for the story. All of this and many other stories on the pages of the Punch newspaper. Moving down to what we have on the Nation newspaper. DSS files charges against Emefiele. DSS files charges against Emefiele. Service chiefs cleared pledge proactive security. Service chiefs cleared pledge proactive security. It is time for federal government action in Southeast. It is time for federal government action in Southeast over insecurity. Stories on page 5 of the Nation newspaper as well. Subsidy palliative 12 million poor households to get $800 million cash. 12 million poor households to get $800 million cash. It is 8,000 naira per family for 6 months. House OK's 500 billion naira request by President. The stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper, which is to be continued on page 4. Electricity tariff raise inevitable. This quote tells NERC as Tinubu declares emergency on food security. Commodity board to access food prices. 10 million agri jobs coming. The story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper as well. Kano's release bid fails. Kano's release bid fail. All of this and many other stories are on the pages of the Nation newspaper. Moving down to what we have on the Guardian newspaper. Despite huge revenue, Lagos local councils underperform, worsen residents' pains. Despite huge revenue, Lagos local councils underperform, worsen resident pains. The story is on page 4 of the paper, which is to be continued on page 5. DSS charges Emefiele to court after judge issued 1 week ultimatum, 346 persons killed, 18,751 displaced in Plateau, 346 persons killed, as 18,751 displaced in Plateau State. The story is on page 29 of the paper. Police nab father for selling 3 children for 1.5 million in Rivers. Police nabbed father for selling 3 children, 1.5 million naira in Rivers State. Labour Party INEC dwell over call for dismissal, prosecution of Yakubu. Labour Atiku slams National Assembly's PD approval of Tinubu's $800 million loan, 500 billion naira palliative. Labour, Atiku Islam National Assembly speedy approval of Tinubu's $800 million loan, 500 billion naira palliative, and the stories on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper as well. Nakon Ali's arch concerns as NCAA suspends Max year's Boeing 737 aircraft. All of these and many other stories are on the pages of the Guardian newspaper. While the last paper here with me is the Herald newspaper. Fadama NG Cares Kwara's flag of distribution of farm input to 7,600 indigent farmers. Kwara flag of distribution of farm input to 7,600 indigent farmers. Turn to the pages of the paper for the details. Senate approves $800 million World Bank loan for federal government as DSS drags Emefiele to court. All of the stories are on the pages of the Herald newspaper. Ogi Guba calls others service chiefs, DSS others, to provide SDP candidates at Jaka maximum security. Calls other service chiefs, DSS others, to provide SDP candidates at Jaka maximum security in Kogi State. Senate confirms appointments of new service chiefs. Senate confirms appointment of new service chiefs. Emir of Ilorin councils Onijagbo on peaceful coexistence. All of us and many other stories are on the pages of the Herald newspaper. If you're just joining us on Just Events Online newspaper review this morning, we are at Ogoluwa Newstand Post Office, area in Ilorin, going by what we have on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Tinubu declares emergency on food security. President Bola Tinubu yesterday declared a state of emergency on food security in the country. He said food inflation was worrisome, adding that pricing should be stabilized in the interest of the common man. The president said the National Commodity Board will soon undertake an assessment of food prices to ensure stability. He also directed security agencies to protect farmers and farmlands in a bid to prevent the disruption of farming activities across the region. President Tinubu said farmers should embrace modern agricultural practice and replace the archaic animal husbandry. He said when the unfolding agricultural innovations are implemented, the sector should be able to generate between 5 and 10 million jobs. This was disclosed by the Special Advisor on Communications and Strategy, Dele Alake. Dele Alake. If you wish to read more of the story, it is to be continued on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And that will be all for this morning on Just Events Online newspaper review. Join us next week for another edition. I am Hanifat Ismail. Jumat Mubarak to all Muslims.